Oi, what is Challenger jungling?
What the f did I say? That's the fucking Eags coaching gap right there. Eags Tarzan fucking coaching gap. I swear to God, they turned me into such a insane player.
It's knowing the future before it happens. Well done, Dantes. We do this before we even load into a game. What lane is going to give me the best chance of getting a kill early on? But that's where it stops for 99% of junglers. In this game, Peter, who's a student in Diamond EU West, and my coaching session with Peter is on Patreon along with over 800 other sessions, starts bot side to path towards the volatile snowbally Fiora Trundle matchup. We are already trying to envision the future here. This is a bit more mouthwatering than Senna support versus Morgana support. Now we also know that as Peter pathed towards Raptors, that the enemy jungler has started bot side. Otherwise, Viego would have shown on his Raptor camp at roughly the same time as Vi. Yes, I know he can do it from the brush and not get seen, but he starts bot, alright? Therefore, we can say that blue side Krugs and red side Gromp respawn at 4:15, and we can also say that blue side Raptors and red side Wolves respawn at 4:30. Can we get a like for the editing? Let's go. Now, Peter sees that top lane is already beefing, so instead of farming Wolf camp, he runs straight there. It looks like a kill. Also, can you imagine if the enemy jungler ran straight here and we just did our top camps? That would be an FF and we'd feel like we missed out on a kill. Trundle ends up dying solo and Peter goes back to his blue buff, no worries. The time though is already 3:10, meaning that if a jungler has just been clearing camps, they will be very close to completing their full clear and hitting level 4. So in this game, Viego is that jungler. He has not shown, so we can assume he's just full clearing. That's why Peter pings Fiora to be careful, never mind he doesn't, and Fiora dies to the Viego before he actually thinks about the enemy jungler. Your future matters, but the enemy jungler's future matters way more. Peter has no option here but to run back to his Gromp, and while clearing his Gromp, we should know what Viego will do, which is what? Well, he was level 4 when ganking Fiora, then he did the top crab, so surely he now recalls and runs to bot crab, or at least his Gromp that would have respawned because it's already 4 minutes. So even though we see Viego recalling right now on vision when I play this out, we should know that anyway. If you need wards to help you jungle track, then you ain't a jungler. Now, knowing this information about Viego, in other words, Viego's future, what should Peter do? Well, there is really nothing to do here apart from Gromp and Wolves. If we recall and run at bot crab, we're probably already late. If we recall and run at Grubs or Dragon, we are too early. And if we run straight to the bot crab without recalling, that's probably 20 seconds away. We could have farmed our Wolves in that time and be recalling to run at our Krugs and Raptors. So we do Gromp and then Wolves and then recall. Now, what you're about to witness is what jungling really is, so pay attention. Peter moves out of base towards the top side of the map so he can get to Grubs when they spawn. Unfortunately, he hasn't taken into account the future of every champion on the Rift, particularly the enemy junglers. Did we not establish earlier that the stronger Viego is going to his bot side after he recalls? And wasn't that 30 seconds ago? That means that Viego is going to be pathing where eventually. So what's stopping Viego from doing his Gromp and Wolves, potentially bot crab before both, and then running straight to Grubs? Well, nothing. Because Viego also here is a lot stronger than Vi, Vi needs to rely on others to help her out. That's really the only thing that's stopping the Viego from doing that, and Peter in this game gets very lucky. At this moment in time, right, the enemy Victor has priority, and the enemy Trundle, who killed Fiora for a second time with Viego, is miles ahead in terms of experience, so mid and top are in no position to move to Grubs, and that potential 3v3 is just giga lost. Victor has locked himself in lane because he hasn't recalled despite being for like 1 minute. This actually opens the door for Peter to run to Grubs, but Victor could still always just recall and then just goes back to lane if he really wanted to. But the Victor, because he pities Peter's position, oh my goodness, the alliteration, bro, he decides to lose all his HP, and because he doesn't have TP, Peter gets away with clicking to Grubs, because this fight will now be what? A 3v2, right? In favor of blue team. So it works out in the end. But what's the correct decision here running out of base? Well, Peter can just run to Krugs and then go to Raptors. This is optimal in terms of jungling because we finish our outside camps first and finish towards the middle of the map. We can still gank bot lane or do whatever we want bot side, and we can also move towards top side of the map if need be. If you were thinking of going from Raptors to Krugs, this is just way too inefficient, and hopeful. It's inefficient to path like this, and it would be the same going from walls to Gromp because you are walking over your own footprints. If you walk from Raptors to Krugs and you want to run back to top side of the map, you have to walk back over yourself. And it's hopeful because if you are looking to gank bot afterwards, how do you know you have a kill in 45 seconds? Like from where Peter is now, if he was to run to Raptors and go to Krugs looking to gank bot after, he's not a prophet, bro. No one can see that far into the future. So if there is no kill bot lane, you feel kind of isolated on the map. By the way, there is a reason to run to Raptors here, and I want you guys to work it out while I ask you another question. Do you actually want to get good at this game? Like, I mean really good. Better than your friends, your dad, the players you look up to. I can help you feel the power of playing like a challenger, whatever role you play, whatever champ you play. It's all been done before, bro. Just depends if you actually want it or not. Links to my website are down below. So Vi can run to Raptors if she thinks, what an advertisement, bro. If she thinks Viego might take them. But in this game, it would be awkward for Viego to run there because he has a guaranteed path to Grubs with none of his bot side camps up. If Vi saw her Raptors gone after doing Krugs, she could easily think of running to Viego's Raptors knowing he's extended for another camp rather than securing his own side. This would essentially add at least 20 seconds to Viego's path towards Grubs. But if Vi runs to Krugs and Victor does what he does in this game without TP, should she then run all the way to Grubs? That is the right question. I sounded like that old dude off iRobot. So Vi running to Grubs, even if she was pathing to Krugs, is indeed correct, even though it looks kind of inefficient. Victor is basically dead. Recalling is 8 seconds, being dead is 8 seconds, and then he has to run all the way out of base, and even when he gets back to lane, he won't have priority, and he will be later than the level 6 Donga at a Grubs fight. Vi is also not going to lose her bot camps in that situation, because Viego is definitely pathing towards Grubs here. This is jungling. But if Victor doesn't start trolling, what do we do after Krugs and then Raptors? Well, we know Viego is pathing topside, so Vi has to do Dragon. That's pretty much it. Otherwise, in exchange for Grubs, we are maybe doing our Gromp and walls, and who cares about that? Viego has those on his side. We're not actually taking anything from him. And look at Viego show up, bro. This guy W'd into Grubs, legit thinking Vi wasn't even going to be here, and as a result of us knowing this future, we know our mid had prior before getting here, Viego has to eventually flash. Top lane traded kills, but it doesn't really change the outcome if they were here, because Fiora could have still moved being full HP. She ain't Victor. It's just a bit of a shame that Peter uses his Q on the last Grub, knowing a fight is looming, and he does end up dying here. If Vi has Q, she could have Q flash comboed the Viego because he doesn't have flash and GG. Small micro details like this are also huge, man. Like you can be a Briar using Eon Grubs, a Bel'Veth pointlessly using Eon Grubs. You need to save your cooldowns if you won't have them back up in time for the fight. But I'm not done explaining what jungling is. If you get this, you're gonna make it, bruh. Tell me the future of Viego. What is he going to do here? Well, you have to know what he has done. So let's have a think. He's got 36 CS. How many did he have after his full clear and top crab? 28. Each camp is worth 4 CS, remember. So he's done 6 camps on his side, then the crab, that's 7. 7 times 4 is 28, let's go. That means he has done 2 more camps because he has 8 more CS. So that means he has done his Gromp and Wolves again. We can also see him running off to his Raptors here on Vision, but like earlier, man, even if we didn't have this Vision, we should know he will do his Raptors and Krugs again because they've respawned. It's 5:45. His Raptors would have spawned at around 5 minutes and Krugs probably around 5:40. So the future of Viego is Raptors and Krugs. How long does that take? Probably around what, 30 to 40 seconds? Then what is he going to do? Well, surely he will base again. He'll be on a bit of gold and his bot camps and blue buff will be respawning again. So that means he's probably going to be running to his blue buff in close to 60 seconds. Now, if that's the future of Viego, can we use that future against him? Can the Vi take something away from the map here that Viego might care about? You could do your Krugs and then Raptors here, but isn't there something better? Isn't that what Viego's just done? You're not taking anything again from him. Dragon is the only play here, really. It also doesn't matter how long it takes you to do Dragon here, whether it's 30 seconds or 60 seconds. The fact is you can do it before the enemy jungler gets here. But just like the Grubs play, you have to know the future of everyone on the Rift. Look at this enemy bot lane. How juicy do they look for a Vi with Flash? Is going to kill bot more worth than doing Dragon? Of course, you could potentially get 600 gold from these dogs. And remember, Viego is not here for probably 30 seconds. This is a pure 3v2. Guys, I'm out of breath and my voice hurts. But hopefully this video taught you what jungling really is, and if you want to speed up your learning and increase your rank quicker than ever, you have my website linked down below and Patreon with over 800 coaching sessions. I know I've said that before, but I'll say it again. This was Eags. Don't be shy. Bye.